could you do this to me, Susie? Why in the world aren't you coming to my wedding, of all things?
Ah, Sharon. Thank you very much for the invitation. I'm sorry, but I just can't make it.
I don't care about whatever apologies you've got. Why aren't you coming?
Sorry, but my work schedule just isn't going to line up properly.
Your work schedule? The wedding is on a Sunday. How could work cause you trouble on a Sunday?
I'm really sorry. My job just isn't one that really cares about weekends. I would really prefer it if I could take that day off, but I just can't make it work. An important project has come in that could decide the future of the company, so I can't afford to be out of the office a single day until we get things handled.
Are you serious? Is it really so important just to miss someone's wedding?
I'm really sorry. There really isn't anything I can do about it. I'll send you my wedding gift soon.
Oh, so you do have something for me?
Well, in your case, you'd probably prefer money over some specific gift, right? You didn't exactly make a gift registry.
You know me too well. I could never manage to decide on what sort of things I'd want for wedding gifts.
Could you send me the information for the wire transfer? I'll get it set up so I can just put it directly in your account.
Sure. I'll get it to you shortly. As a repayment for missing the wedding itself, I'll happily accept a big cash gift from you.
Yeah, I got it.
Oh, right. You've been living in Boston recently, haven't you, Susie? When I sent the invitation to your old house, the response I got had a completely different return address written on it.
Yeah, that's right. I'm glad the invitation got forwarded to us okay. As for why I'm in Boston now, honestly, this is something I was hoping to tell everyone a bit later, but I might as well tell you now since it's come up. The thing is, my father received some land from my late grandfather as a part of his inheritance. He's finally finished having a new house built on that land, so we just moved there a couple weeks ago.
Oh, wow! I guess that makes sense then. It sounds like a pretty exciting change. Anyway, I brought it up because there's actually someone I'm good friends with who lives in Boston as well. They actually live pretty close to that new house you're living in. Isn't that a fun little coincidence?
Oh, really? That's a surprise.
Well, I look forward to seeing you when I stop by there.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it. Let's do lunch or something when you're in the area again.
Well, I've got to get some preparations underway with my fiancé.
Sure, no problem. I hope all of your wedding plans go smoothly.
Hey, Susie! It's been a few months since we last talked. I'm texting you because there's a little favor I wanted to ask of you.
Oh, hi, Sharon. It's been a while. What's wrong? Is there something you need?
Well, I'm actually in front of your place right now. I'm going to leave my car in your garage, okay?
Wait, what?
Well, I'm on my way to see that friend of mine who lives nearby, but I don't exactly have a place to park my car. I'm really glad your place's garage fits my car perfectly. It's really a lifesaver.
Wait, no, hold on. I'm leaving shortly, and I'm not going to be back home until next Tuesday. You just leaving your car here out of nowhere could cause some real trouble.
Oh, lighten up. I'm only leaving it there for a short time. What's the big deal? I'll be leaving tomorrow morning anyway.
Well, no, you don't understand. The garage door is going to be closed, so you won't be able to get your car out until I come back on Tuesday.
Well, then leave the door open. Duh. You're smart. I shouldn't have to tell you that.
You should know I can't do that. That's just asking for our things to get stolen.
Sorry, I'm going to be late to my meetup with my boyfriend.
Wait, boyfriend? Not your fiancé?
Okay, I'm counting on your help with my car.
Don't just leave like that. Just wait a second. Look, I'll leave my garage door open until 2 p.m. today. So then you need to get your car by then. Otherwise, you won't be able to get it out until next Tuesday. I'm not kidding here. Hey, Kyle. It's been a while.
Susie. Wow, it has been a long time.
I'm sorry to bother you when it's the day before the wedding, but there's something I really need your help with.
Oh, what is it?
Well, here's the thing. Sharon suddenly came by and just left her car in my garage.
Huh? Sharon did that.
Yeah, and it's not like I gave her permission for it or anything either. She just came by and left it. It sounds like she was planning to pick it up tomorrow morning, but there's a bit of a problem. I'm going to be leaving at 2 today, and I'm not going to be coming back until next Tuesday. I'm not about to leave my garage door open either. So her car is going to just be stuck there until I get back if nothing is done about it.
Seriously?
So I was hoping you could maybe talk to her and get her to get the car before 2. I've been trying to get in touch with her ever since she first left the car here, but I've been getting no response.
I'm surprised she's doing something like this so close to the wedding. It's a bit concerning, honestly. You see, tomorrow morning we were planning to go to the wedding together in her car.
Huh. Really?
Yeah. My house is between the venue and her apartment, so she would be the one handling getting us there. Or at least, that was the idea anyway.
And yet, despite those plans, she just left it in my garage, huh?
Now that I think about it, you're living in Boston right now, aren't you?
Yeah, I am. Boston's certainly not close to where Sharon lives. And from what I heard, the venue's in the complete opposite direction. It's quite a distance from here, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. So, what is she doing way out in Boston then?
Well, now that I think about it, when she first dropped her car off here unannounced, it seemed like she was up to something.
Did she say anything that clued you in as to what she was doing?
A clue, huh? If I remember correctly, she said something about planning on meeting someone. Oh, I just checked the message. Word for word, she said, "I'm going to be late to my meetup with my boyfriend."
Boyfriend? You're sure that's the word she used?
Yeah, I'm sure. That's directly copied from the message she sent me. Sorry, but that's all the information I have. She didn't say a name or anything, so I don't have a clue past that one line.
Don't worry about it. I'm sorry that you ended up being wrapped up in this. Thanks for reaching out to me. We still have to deal with the issue of Sharon's car, though.
Yeah. What do you want me to do with this?
Well, if she hasn't come by to pick it up by 2, I'd say just close the door and leave it there. Sorry if that's bothersome.
Just leave it stuck there? Are you sure that'll be okay?
Yeah, I don't think we can really do anything about her just leaving the car there if she doesn't move it out. I just can't think of anything we can do. After listening to you talk about all this, I just can't let any of this go anymore.
Can't let it go? What do you mean?
Don't worry about it. This isn't the time for making sudden decisions without all of the facts straight anyway. I'll talk to you tomorrow once I've figured out more. Sorry, but could you do one last thing for me?
Sure. What is it?
Please let me know whether or not Sharon comes by to pick up the car by 2. Regardless of if she did or not, I'd really appreciate you keeping me up to speed.
Sure, I can do that. Susie! I know you're there! You're at home, aren't you? Come on! Wake up already! I'm awake. What do you want? What do you think? My car! I came to pick it up. I mean, come on! Didn't I tell you not to close the garage door? Why the heck did you close it? Didn't I tell you I didn't want people stealing things out of my garage? Okay, I get it already. Just hurry up and open it. Before I do, I've got a question I'd like you to answer for me. What? What do you mean, a question? Who did you go to see last night? Huh? You're currently in Boston, aren't you? That's a long way away from your house. Not to mention your wedding venue, isn't it? I was wondering who would be so important that you had to meet them the night before your wedding, in probably the most inconvenient area possible. Oh, yeah, right. A friend of mine. Since last night was the last night I was going to spend single,
I figured I'd have one last girls' night out and have some fun.
Girls' night out? That's odd. You described the guy as your boyfriend when last we talked. I don't think you can really get away with claiming you were meeting a woman.
Oh, right. That was careless of me.
Okay, I'm just going to come out and ask it. You were cheating on your fiancé, weren't you?
Well, I guess I've been found out, haven't I?
Seriously, Sharon. This isn't even the first time you've done this. You used to be dating multiple guys at a time back in high school, too. At least at that time, it was just a simple boyfriend-girlfriend relationship that only really affected the two people directly involved. But now, to go have an affair the day before you were getting married? That's a horse of a completely different color. Why did you do this?
You're the same goody-two-shoes you've always been. Stop getting your panties in a bunch over just a little affair.
Just a little affair? Are you serious?
Come on! Stop bothering me about this and open your garage door already. I'm going to be late for my wedding. Come on! I'm already running out of time. Seriously, hurry up! I still have to pick up my fiancé, Kyle. We're going to be going to the venue together. So get this garage door open already. If I don't get there on time, he's going to get suspicious. Why haven't you opened it yet?
Because I'm over in the UK on a business trip. I literally can't open the door for you.
What? The UK?
Yep. I'm on British soil right now.
Hold on.
Incidentally, while my parents live at that house too, they're off on an overseas vacation until Wednesday, so they won't be able to help you either.
But wait, that means that I can't get the garage door open.
I told you multiple times, remember? I told you I was going to close that door at 2, and that you needed to get your car before then.
And that's why I was telling you to leave it open for me.
And I refused, since that would just be inviting thieves to steal things right out of an open, unattended garage. Well, as I told you, it's just going to sit there until this coming Tuesday.
No, you can't. There's going to be serious trouble if the car just stays there. Even if I left right now, I would be cutting it really close. What am I going to do if I can't make it to my own wedding on time?
Hold up. Step back and think for a moment. Don't you think there's something else you should be more concerned about first?
Huh? Something else I should worry about?
Haven't you gotten a message from Kyle?
Huh? Strange. You're right. I do have a message from him. Huh? No. This can't be happening. He's not going to marry me. What's going on? Why is this happening to me?
Well, you see, here's the thing. I got in touch with Kyle yesterday after you left your car in my garage, and we had a little talk.
What? Why on earth would you do that?
Well, I couldn't manage to reach you, so what else was I going to do? After you sent me that little declaration that you were going to park your car in my garage without permission, you just stopped responding to any messages I sent you.
Well, I mean, your constant nagging for me to move my car was getting really annoying.
Annoying or not, I knew that if something wasn't done about it, there would be repercussions to your wedding plans. Since I definitely was not going to just leave my garage door open for days, I thought the best course of action would be to contact Kyle. So I got in touch with him and gave him the lowdown on my predicament.
So that's it then? So just because of me parking my car, you felt like you had to just spill everything about how I was cheating on him? You're horrible, Susie.
Hold on, don't put words in my mouth. I just said I talked to him. I didn't say a thing to him about you having an affair.
Huh? You didn't?
No. He figured that out on his own. Sure, he started suspecting that you were up to something after talking to me. But that was more because of how it was strange for you to leave your car in my garage in a town that was in the opposite direction of your wedding venue. I suppose it didn't help that you called him your boyfriend when you texted me either. From what Kyle told me, He did some digging and came up with a suspect. The guy you're cheating on him with. He's an ex-boyfriend of yours who lives in Boston, right?
How? How could he find out so much just from hearing about me leaving my car at your house?
Well, again, you did call him your boyfriend, too. So that might have given him a bit more of a lead, too. I don't know.
Wait, hold on. How did you even manage to get in contact with Kyle in the first place? How did you know his number? Wait, I know. He's been cheating on me with you, hasn't he? That's how you've been keeping in touch with him.
No, we've been good friends since high school. We were in the same club, so we've spoken to each other occasionally over the years. But our whole class exchanged numbers too, remember? I'd be more surprised if I didn't know how to get in touch with one of our old classmates.
Really?
You still keep in touch with everyone? Well, not exactly, but I certainly would be able to if I needed to. Like if someone else I knew just inexplicably ghosted me after leaving her car for me to deal with. Honestly, I thought you knew all of this already. But then again, you really don't seem to be thinking things through, do you? Going to see another man the day before your wedding? Parking your car in someone else's garage without their permission? I don't feel the slightest bit of pity for you. You brought this on yourself.
Oh, shut up! If you had just kept your mouth shut, none of this would have happened. This is all your fault. How could you betray your friend like this?
Don't go trying to pull the friend card on me.
Huh? But we're friends, aren't we?
Do you really think I'd be fine with playing a part in letting you cheat on the man you were engaged to the night before your wedding? I'm utterly disgusted that I was essentially forced into helping you do so by holding your stupid car. You're the worst. No self-respecting person would put one of her friends in such an uncomfortable, stressful position.
Please, wait. Susie?
I couldn't care less what happens to you anymore. Don't you dare talk to me ever again. After that whole debacle, eventually Tuesday came around and I came back home. Now that I was able to open the garage door, Sharon's mother came to pick it up. At the same time, I heard some other news about what happened to Sharon. It sounds like that ex-boyfriend of hers knew about how she was engaged and reached out to her 3 months ago. Apparently, he wanted to spend time with her again, thinking it was a waste for her to be getting married or something weird like that. And Sharon? Well, she never seemed to have much of a sense as to the seriousness of her actions, and just happily went along with him to spend a couple nights together in hotels. She didn't even think about what trouble she was causing. Not only that, she was hoping she could keep up the two-timing after she got married, too. Apparently, her little excursion the night before her marriage was so she could get a thrill out of how naughty she was being. I can't say I understand it. Well, in the end, the wedding was canceled, leaving her and her family with a mountain of cancellation fees to deal with. Her parents refused to pay, and both Sharon and her old ex were disowned by their families for their actions. Now, burdened by a mountain of debt, Sharon's been forced to start doing some shadier work to pay everything back. It looks like she'll be stuck working every day without a break for a long time to come.
Good morning, Dana. I will be expecting you to be at the Mothers Club luncheon today.
Oh, good morning, Barbara.
Yes, enough with the pleasantries. Just hurry and come over to my house. As the wife of an extremely prominent businessman and leader of the Mothers Club, I will show you the stark difference between our respective social standings. You know where my house is, right? It's the mansion that you can see on the hill from anywhere in town. I imagine things must be very tough for you, being a wife that isn't able to live her life because she has to work every day. So I thought it would be a kind gesture to give someone poor like you a taste of what a more high-class lifestyle is like one of a celebrity.
I'm sorry, but I'm afraid I can't make it. I'm pretty sure I mentioned this before, but I have work on weekdays, and it would cause problems if I just didn't show up today.
That may be the case, but do you realize you will be causing problems if you refuse an invitation from me, the leader of the Mothers Club. I insist that you come over this instant.
Sorry, but I'm actually going to New York City on a business trip today.
What? You're going to New York City?
Yes. Thanks to the business trip, I won't be returning until the day after tomorrow.
What's this now? Surely this is just an attempt to trick me into just letting it slide while you go gallivanting off on some pleasure trip.
I'm sorry, what? I told you already. This is a business trip.
Sure, you might say that. But New York City is also quite a city to go sightseeing in too, as I'm sure you know. To think that you would go to such lengths as use the pretext of a business trip to go out on a sightseeing tour to try to claim superiority.
Claim superiority? What are you talking about? You've completely lost me.
Of course someone poor like you would act with such impudence. You're obviously trying to just find something to lord over me because you know you can't measure up.
Okay, look. You do understand the difference between a business trip and going traveling for fun, don't you? There is no way I would be willing to just travel to New York City for sightseeing when I am busy with work.
I don't care. You should not be going against what I tell you to do. I lead the Mothers Club, and you have to listen to what I say. Cancel your little trip immediately and get going to the Mothers Club luncheon.
I'm sorry, but there are some serious business negotiations I have to be a part of shortly, so I must be going.
What? Don't lie to me!
I'm not lying, and you're just wasting my time. If you'll excuse me, I really must be heading off now.
Wait right there, Dana. Don't you dare leave on me. We haven't finished talking yet. This is unbelievable. I don't care what work you have. This luncheon should be the most important thing to you. I can't believe your insolence. Hello, Dana. I'm contacting you about the regular Mothers Club luncheons. You told me that weekdays were no good, correct? Well then, how does next Saturday sound? The weekend should prove to be no problem for you, I imagine.
Saturday? Well, I'm busy with work in the morning, but the afternoon should be fine. I think I can put that in my schedule. Thank you for adjusting your plans.
Oh my. It's rare to hear you being so polite. If only you could be this docile all the time.
I mean, it's not like I miss going to every single one, and I'm sorry if that impression ever came across. Also, docile? Anyway, it sounds like my schedule will allow me to go this time, but unfortunately, I can't guarantee that I'll be there every time in the future.
So, in other words, for you, in a world where a 2-day weekend is a given, you are still working in the morning on a Saturday? So you're telling me that you really are so poor that you have to do everything you can to earn some extra money?
No. My company is just currently doing business with a company that is off on Sundays and Mondays rather than the traditional weekend. So anyone who is taking part in the meetings needs to go to work on the weekends. I am one of those people, so I have to work on Saturday mornings.
Well, I am a stay-at-home housewife, so I can't say I really understand any of that. It sounds too complicated and, frankly, unimportant to someone like me who has such a prodigious businessman for a husband.
Speaking of him, your husband is the head of marketing at that company Market Trade, right?
Oh, so you were aware of that then?
Yes. Some time ago, my company was doing some business with Market Trade, and I met him during one of our meetings.
Oh, is that so? Oh, right. Yes, I heard something about that recently. I think he mentioned seeing someone whose name matched one of the Mothers Club list. Well, if that's the case, then we can have a great talk about it at the next luncheon. Won't that just be fantastic?
Yes, sure. I'm looking forward to it. Thank you very much for the kind invitation.
Are you there, Dana? You're already on your way here, aren't you?
Oh, good afternoon, Barbara. I just finished up with my work for the day, so I should be able to make it there by noon as promised.
I have been preparing some of the best refreshments you've ever tasted, so I eagerly look forward to your arrival. Dana, about today. For you to just leave after some tea was spilled on you. You really don't need to be so grumpy about it. It's not like it was hot enough to burn you or anything.
It doesn't matter if it was hot or cold. Throwing a drink into someone's face is wrong no matter how you look at it. Don't you realize that?
Oh dear, it seems like you have quite the short temper, don't you? You do know that such stress isn't good for your health or your complexion, right? You really should try to moderate your emotions a bit more. Try to think about being a bit more reasonable.
The woman who splashed tea in my face at a public gathering is telling me to be reasonable? That's a laugh.
You see? It's exactly that sort of snippy response that just rubs everyone else the wrong way. Of course you aren't liked very much.
When did anyone ever mention something like that?
Well, you would know if you actually attended the luncheons more often. I mean, I understand how hard it might be, since you're poor with no real opportunities left open to you. Believe me, I get it. But still, it's hard to excuse how you behaved just a little while ago. I understand why you were angry, though. You were jealous of how successful my husband is. I mean, yes, he is just so outstanding. But when he mentioned how he had just recently managed to close some business with another big company, you just had the scariest look on your face. You're lucky I was the one looking at you at the time, because anyone else would have caused a scene. I thought that since you were someone who seemed to have to go out on lots of business trips, I thought you would be well aware of all the work that my husband's business would involve, as you have to deal with it so often. And yet, after hearing about how successful he was, your expression was completely giving away how frustrated you were. I hope you know. It's not good for you to be so jealous of my husband. He's just a truly spectacular businessman with some strong business connections. That's all.
Oh, is that so? That's the impression you got? So you're saying I looked jealous?
Well, yes, of course. You seem to be the type of person who just wears her emotions on her sleeve. It was totally obvious what you were thinking. I splashed that tea on you to try to cool you off, since you seem to be getting so heated, what with your jealous expression and clenched hands. I just can't stand people like you. You can't blame me. Anyone in my position would have felt like they had to do the same thing.
Ignoring your attempts to justify the unjustifiable, I just want to confirm something with you here. Your husband was saying that he was the one who closed that deal, correct?
Yes, he was. He closed the deal with one of the biggest companies in the industry, Sales Corp.
That sounds strange to me. When I think about the days when market trade representatives came to our company for negotiations, the only people who came were young women.
Huh? Your company? Dana, are you saying that you're an employee of Sales Corp?
Yes, actually. Anyway, I heard something at the luncheon that didn't sit right with me, so I'm planning to talk with some of our staff at the start of next week.
Huh? What's this all of a sudden? What? Are you going to be trying to look into my husband's business or something?
Well, depending on how things pan out with the investigation, the business contract between Market Trade and Sales Corp might end up having to be terminated.
What?
Well, it may come to pass that we'll have to speak directly to your husband, or at least to some other Market Trade staff. I can't say one way or the other what the conclusion could end up being, though. It could be fine, but it could also become quite a problem.
Hold on, Dana. What are you talking about?
I'm sorry, but you'll have to excuse me, as I must be going.
Dana! You need to do something about this, now! All of this is your fault! Hurry up and do something!
What is it? Sorry, but I'm in the middle of eating dinner. Can this wait?
At this rate, I'm going to end up getting divorced. My husband told me that because I invited you to the Mother's Club luncheon, his taking credit for the market trade contract got exposed.
Oh, is that so?
And yet, there you were being angry at me over just having tea splashed on you.
Okay. And
What do you mean, and?
this sounds like a marital problem to me. It's not exactly my place as an unrelated person to speak up in an argument between a married couple, is it?
Can't you just say something to him to get him to calm down? Something about how the contract will be fine or something? Look, this is the most important thing to me, so just do something!
I'm telling you, your marital troubles have nothing to do with me.
No, you're wrong. You have everything to do with this. I had no idea your husband was the president of Sales Corp. How was I supposed to know you were related to someone so important there? And on top of that, it turns out that it was actually one of my husband's subordinates who had managed to close the contract. He had just wanted the credit and tried to act like he was the one who did the work involved. There's no way I would have known about any of that. How could I have possibly known what was going on?
Well, regardless of whether or not you knew about it, the fact of the matter is that your husband tried to steal the credit for someone else's work.
That's why I'm asking for your help. You're connected to the top of Sales Corp. Put in a good word or something. Make it so that the contract doesn't get canceled. Do something!
Oh, the contract? That's not getting canceled. Things will still proceed normally.
Really?
Yes, with conditions attached, of course.
Conditions?
Well, if everything had gone as your husband had wanted, after the contract was finalized, he would have tried to make sure he was the one in charge of it. Of course, that will be completely unacceptable.
That doesn't sound good. My husband will be so angry.
I can imagine he will, but that's not my problem. Anyway, if the woman I mentioned earlier who actually closed the deal becomes the one in charge of it, the contract can remain, and business can continue. Of course, we have already informed the market trade executives of these conditions.
If that happens, then my husband will be removed from the project entirely. He might even end up getting fired. Please, it won't be any good if he gets kicked off. You need to do whatever you can to let him be in charge of the contract. If he's in charge, then everything will be all right.
Look, I've told you already, haven't I? The executive staff of Market Trade has already been notified. There's nothing else I can do at this point.
They already know everything?
Yes. This has become a problem between two companies. The scale of the issue has far surpassed that of one couple's marital dispute.
All I did was splash some tea on you. What made you think it was necessary to go this far to get back at me?
Barbara, I think you're misunderstanding things here. You splashing tea on my face had absolutely nothing to do with the precarious situation that has developed between Market Trade and Sales Corp.
It didn't?
Yes. The two events, while happening at similar times, were completely unrelated. The contract issue resulted solely from your husband trying to steal credit for closing the deal. Thanks to that, it became a company-spanning issue. As for you splashing tea on me, that was solely a private issue between you and me. I'll say it again. Those two events had nothing to do with each other. You splashing tea on me wasn't what caused the marital problems you are having now. I had no intention of trying to connect those two events together. Nor do I now. Please keep that in mind, and don't get it mixed up anymore, okay?
Dana, what's going on? What did I just receive at my door? A man is telling me I've been served, and it says you're suing me for assault? You're trying to get damages. Why are you doing this to me?
Good evening, Barbara. As poorly timed as ever, I see. I think it should be obvious what is happening, as you just described it to me yourself. Did you think splashing tea in my face wouldn't fall under the definition of assault? It could have been hot. I could have been horribly burned.
What are you talking about?
Well, that's not all either. I'm also suing you for defamation, thanks to all of the slanderous lies you've been spreading about me within the Mother's Club. Things like how my household is so poor that we can only afford to eat expired and moldy food. Or that I need to work shady jobs in order to pay off the extreme debt my family is saddled with. Or that my frequent business trips are in actuality trips to see a man I've been having an affair with. Do you deny having spread these rumors around not only the Mothers Club, but much of our neighborhood? There may be people who actually believe those lies, and those lies have harmed my reputation in the community. That's why I'm suing you on both counts.
Don't you think you're taking things too far? A lawsuit is just going over the top. Look, I ended up getting divorced from my husband already. Isn't that enough for you? Why do you still have to hound me like this?
Didn't I tell you? The two cases were completely unrelated. Thus, they would be dealt with separately. Of course, I would be happy to settle the case out of court if you would just pay me compensation for all of the distress you've caused me.
What is going on? For you to be living in such a shabby apartment with only one bedroom, yet actually be married to a company president? You're practically a celebrity. It's completely unfair.
I'm sorry, what?
If I had known about that, I wouldn't have made such a stupid mistake.
Okay. Putting aside how you sound like you think it would have been fine for you to treat me poorly if I were actually poor, that apartment that you're talking about is just a place I'm renting to do remote work. Did you realize that?
That is just some place you do remote work at?
Well, our company started allowing employees to primarily work remotely around 2 years ago. But I'm not really the kind of person who can get work done at home, so I rented out a different place so I could focus properly. It's also close to my son's elementary school, so it's pretty convenient for taking him to and from school, too. Our actual house is in a gated community a bit further out of town, in a more affluent area.
Wait, a gated community? There's only one of those near here, and that's the richest area in the city.
Look, there's nothing else relevant you want to ask, right?
What do you mean, nothing else relevant? I still have so many questions.
Well, I can't say I really want to talk to you any longer, so your questions can instead go through my lawyer. She'll be in touch with you soon. As for me, I'll be going now. Goodbye.
Wait! No, don't go yet. Look, my husband is also looking to try to wring money out of me. I'm begging you, please don't push forward with this. I've suffered enough. Please just let it go. Please, talk to me, Dana.
Sometime after that last conversation, the case was settled with Barbara sending me the money I requested. As for the money her now ex-husband was trying to get from her, it sounds like he was trying to get her to pay somehow for having cheated on him. She was having an affair with another man, who was even a father with children of his own. Her ex-husband was already in a rough spot with having been demoted and receiving a big pay cut as a result of his actions. But just like with me, the affair and his demotion were completely unrelated. He did whatever he could to get Barbara to pay for what she did. Apparently, he got custody of their daughter, so Barbara now has to pay child support to support the daughter she no longer gets to see. So, Barbara now finds herself having to work morning, noon, and night to pay what she owes. Quite a far cry from the pampered housewife she used to be. Maybe she might learn a thing or two. Though, as she's never worked a day in her life, she seems to be struggling quite a bit. One day she sent a text to everyone in the Mothers Club about how work was so tough for her. So everyone just blocked her so they didn't have to deal with her whining anymore.
Where the hell are you? I'm late.
Hey, Melanie. I'm sorry. I've got a ton of work left to do. I'm not going to be home for dinner today.
Dinner? You told me you would be home tonight to take care of Penny.
I'm sorry, Melanie. It's work. I need to get this done.
That's no excuse. You told me you were going to participate in parenting. Why else would I have a baby? This is not fair. You need to tell your job you have a family to take care of. It's your responsibility.
I know. I have tomorrow off, so I'll take Penny for the whole day. You can spend the day doing whatever you want.
I have plans today, Blake. I'm supposed to be out the door right now. When do I get time to myself, huh? This is not the deal we made. You said you would make me happy. You said you wanted to be a good father and husband.
I do. I promise. I'm doing the best I can. I'll be home as soon as I'm done, okay?
Nope, not good enough. just leave Penny in her crib. She'll be fine.
What? Are you crazy? She's only a baby. You can't leave her by herself.
What am I supposed to do? It's your fault I have no social life since I have Penny. All I do, all day, every day, is take care of her. How do you think I feel? Cooped up in the house with a screaming, pooping barf machine? Don't I deserve some time off?
Okay, I'll come home. Just don't leave Penny alone, all right? I'll be there in like 20 minutes.
You'd better be here in 20. I'm not waiting around after that. I'll just leave her in her crib if you're late.
Melanie, please. I'm on my way home, all right? Don't leave Penny by herself.
Just hurry back. I'm already late.
I'm sorry to disturb you at home, but do you have a second? It's about the file I took over today.
Oh, hi, Dove. I'm sorry about tonight. It was totally unfair of me to ask you to finish my tasks. You really saved my butt, though.
Not at all. Blake, you have a wife and baby at home. You should spend as much time with them as possible. I don't mind working late and helping out when you need a hand. Just let me know what you need, okay?
Thanks. You're a lifesaver. So, what's going on with the file? What did you want to ask me about?
Oh, it's done. I just wanted to let you know it's saved in the cloud and you have a copy in your email.
You're done already? That's amazing. Dove, you've got to tell me your secret. How do you do it all?
A secretary never reveals her secrets. I'm here to make your life easier. So please, make spending time with little Penny a priority. Leave the grunge work to me. How is Melanie lately? Has motherhood mellowed her out a little?
Oh, that's right. You guys were pretty close when she was working with us at the office. Yeah, she's being a mother.
Yeah, we were pretty close, but kind of fell out of touch since you guys got married. I hope she's doing well. Penny's so cute. I'm sure she's totally in love with her.
Penny is the cutest. You should come over sometime. You can see Penny and catch up with Melanie. She keeps saying she misses having a social life. It would be perfect.
I'm not sure about that. I don't think Melanie would like me going over to your house.
Huh? Are you sure? I thought you guys were friends.
We were. It's not really about me and Melanie. I just think she would be uncomfortable with me being in your house. I guess it's been long enough. I might as well tell you. I had a huge crush back in the day. Melanie and I were friends, but kind of rivals, you know?
What? You had a crush on me?
The biggest crush. Don't worry, that was a long time ago. I'm not trying to start anything here. I just thought it might be a little inappropriate if I were over at your house. Personal boundaries, you know?
I guess. Sorry, I'm a little stunned. And flattered, of course. I can't believe you had a crush on me. I'm sorry, I didn't know.
Well, you started dating Melanie, and it's not like I ever tried to approach you or anything. I kept my feelings totally hidden. How could you know? Besides, Melanie is gorgeous. I'm, overweight and ugly. It's fine. I know people don't look at me like that.
Dove, don't say that. You're not ugly. I'm sure there's someone out there waiting for you. You're an amazing woman.
Thanks, Blake. But I'm already at peace with the fact that I'm never getting married. It's just not in the cards for me.
What? Why would you say that, Dove? People aren't that superficial. Someone's going to love you for you.
That's a really nice thing to say, but I'm not meant for marriage. Some people are just not suitable for that life, I guess. I have a condition. I'm not able to have kids. The doctors told me there isn't any treatment.
Oh, I'm so sorry to hear that. But that doesn't mean marriage can't be part of your life. Plenty of couples have happy marriages without any children.
First, I would need a boyfriend. It's fine, Blake. I've committed to being best supporting actress. So you can count on me anytime to cover your work so you can be with your family. It's not like I have someone waiting at home. I even got my cats a self-serving food bowl and water bowl. Nobody needs me. I'm glad to be needed at work, at least.
All right, Dove. I wish you wouldn't talk about yourself so negatively, though. You're such a positive, cheery person. I don't understand what makes you think you won't get married.
The mirror? Personal experience? Anywho, you can count on your permanently single secretary, so be happy.
Well, it's good to know you're on my side. I think some people aren't happy with me leaving work without putting in overtime. I'm actually a little worried I might even get fired. I may have stepped on some people's toes.
Yikes. Well, if they fire you, I'll go with you. Lead me, oh wise one.
Unemployment office date? Let's hope it doesn't come to that.
See? I can't even get an unemployment office date. Anyway, have fun with Penny tomorrow.
For sure. I'm taking her to the park to play in the fountain. We're going to have a blast.
Sounds awesome. Take care.
You too. Bye.
Blake! Is it true you got fired? Are you kidding me?
Melanie, how do you know about that already?
So it's true! I can't believe this! You're such a loser! Of course I'm gonna hear about how my husband got fired. I used to work at the same office, remember? I've had ex-colleagues and supervisors call to check on me.
Look, I was going to tell you when I got home.
Tell me what? That you're a useless loser? I know! I can't believe how stupid I was to let you talk me into marrying you. I thought you were going places. That's why I settled with you. This is just crazy. Fired with a baby at home? Stupid.
Melanie, calm down. I'm going to talk to you about what I've been thinking when I get home, okay? There's a lot going on.
What you're thinking? I'm not interested in a loser dum-dum's thoughts, all right? You can't even keep a job. How am I supposed to live like this? What am I supposed to do? Beg on the streets with a baby in my arms? Is that what you want?
No, Melanie. Please listen to me. We'll just have to plan well. I have plans for the future, okay? It'll all work out.
You were fired, Blake. Get that through your head. You better not ask me to go back to work. That was not part of the deal. You provide for the family, I don't work. That was one of the conditions I made for marrying you. You remember that, right?
I know. I remember. That's not what I'm saying. I think it would be better if we talk face to face. This is about our future.
Our future? What kind of future am I going to have with an unemployed loser that can't even feed his own baby? No, this is a deal breaker. I married you because I thought you could make me happy. You know what that means.
Yeah, I know. I'm doing my best, okay?
Not good enough. I'm not going to end up like my mother. I swore to myself growing up watching my mom working 2 jobs just to pay rent and feed us. I'm never going to live like that. That's no life. I need a man who can take care of me. Make sure I have time and money for myself. I'm not going to be stuck at home with a baby on my back, barefoot in the kitchen. I'm not living like that.
What are you even talking about? Melanie, please just calm down and hear me out.
No, I'm done wasting my time with you. This was a mistake. I never should have had a baby with a useless deadbeat. I'm out. You take Penny. I'm going to find someone that can take care of me.
You're serious? You're leaving me? Just walking out on me and Penny?
You lied to me. You promised me a life, and this isn't it. You aren't living up to your word, so I've got to cut my losses and leave. You've been a royal waste of time. The stink monster is yours, too.
You're sure? You can't change your mind on this. You're giving me full custody over Penny.
Yes! Keep her. She's all yours.
You're going to regret this.
Doubt it.
Hey, boss. How's it going?
I'm not your boss, Dove. I was fired, remember?
Oh, were you? I didn't realize, since I just finished another task for you.
My bad. So you got the paperwork done for me?
Yep. Penny is all signed up for daycare. They're really friendly and pretty understanding about your schedule and stuff. They'll need you to confirm the hours you want her cared for once you find a job. How's the job search coming?
Nothing so far. I'm checking around. I know I've got to step up my game so I can provide for Penny. She's my world. I really can't thank you enough for helping me getting set up as a single father. I wouldn't even know where to get started if it weren't for you.
It's my pleasure. Penny's such a sweetheart. I'd be happy to babysit anytime.
Penny's really taken a liking to you, too. I can see there's a bond there. I'm glad she has you in her life.
I do give the best hugs. Hey, I know things are a little tough right now, but you're gonna be fine, all right? You're a great dad. You're going to kick butt as a single father. Besides, you've got your trusty sidekick to help you out.
Yup, it'll all be fine.
Really, Blake? I'm sorry about Melanie. I can't believe she would do something like this. It must be really difficult to accept now, but I'm sure you'll feel better soon.
Actually, I'm already feeling pretty fine. I'm sure being a single father is no walk in the park, but I'm up for it. I love Penny, and I get her all to myself. I'm a little worried about Melanie, though. She has no idea how to take care of herself. She has no impulse control when it comes to spending.
Oh, I remember. She used to have like 6 credit cards and they were always maxed out.
Yeah, she was actually in quite a bit of debt when we got married. I paid it all off for her at the time, but the way she spends, she's going to need to find someone to support her spending habits soon.
Right, about that. I heard she got back together with the VP.
You mean Henry? But he's married. What do you mean she got back with him?
Well, before you and Melanie started dating, Melanie was with Henry. She was his mistress.
Are you serious? So he was giving her money?
Yeah, he used to give her an allowance and buy her lots of gifts.
I knew Melanie likes money, but being with a married man, that's really low of her. So she's back together with him, huh?
That's what I heard. I guess she moves quick. I hear she got him to rent an apartment for her this time. She's doing quite well for herself.
She's basically a prostitute at this point. Ugh. I can't believe I was in love with someone like that.
Maybe I shouldn't have told you. I'm sorry. I just thought it was so unfair that you were worrying about her while, you know.
No, I'm glad you told me. I needed to know. Honestly, it's finally got me to feeling nothing whatsoever for Melanie. Whatever little bit of empathy or compassion I felt for her, gone. I'm free.
All right, good then. Yeah, don't worry about Melanie. You need to focus on yourself.
And Penny. That's who I'm living for now. I'm going to be Super Dad.
That's the spirit. You go, Super Dad.
Super Dad needs to get a job so he can buy diapers for Penny's super poop.
Sounds good. One step at a time, okay?
Thanks.
Hey, it's been a while. How's Penny doing?
What do you want?
I want to see my baby. I want to hold her in my arms. Please, Blake, let me see my daughter. I miss her so much. I'm her mother. You know what? Actually, I want her back. Penny's my daughter. She should be with her mother.
You're out of your mind if you think I'm letting you anywhere near Penny. Who do you think you are calling yourself a mother after abandoning her?
You don't understand. I was going through an impossible time. I still thought of my baby every single day. To this day, Blake, I've missed her every single day I've been apart from her. It's cruel not to let her be with me, don't you think?
No, you made a choice. I confirmed that choice. You can't come back into our lives because you changed your mind. What's going on anyway? Why do you care about Penny all of a sudden?
I'm her mother. Of course I care about my daughter. Give her back to me, Blake.
This has to be about money. You want her back for the grants you can get as a single parent, right?
What? That's not it at all. You don't believe I genuinely want to be with my daughter?
Not for a second. I think that Henry's wife found out about your secret love nest and is getting her husband's finances investigated. I think that's when you started scrambling for some quick cash and remembered you have a kid you could use to score some free government money.
How did you know about that?
What? You think you're the only one that keeps in touch with old acquaintances from the company? I hear things too. Like the fact that Henry's also getting investigated by the company for embezzlement. I guess your meal ticket fell through. Why don't you just go find a new sugar daddy instead of milking your daughter?
Shut up! Maybe you're the one using Penny for the money, huh? A poor, unemployed single father struggling to put food on the table? Yeah, that's it. I was wondering why you'd want to keep a human poop machine, but it makes sense now. It's like she's crapping gold.
She's my world, Melanie. She's the most important person to me, and you threw her away like trash. I'm never letting you take her from me.
We'll see about that. I'll see you. A mother almost always gets custody. Remember that. There's no way she's better off with you. You're an unemployed loser. What court is going to let a 3-year-old stay in a dump with an incompetent single father?
I'm not unemployed. I think my setup is great for Penny. She's not lacking anything, including affection.
Oh, you got someone to hire you? Good for you. I guess there's a job out there for brainless morons.
I didn't exactly get hired for a job. I started my own company. You know, I tried to tell you when you found out I got fired and left me in the dust. I got fired over a disagreement I had with the CEO, but I was sure my strategy would generate far greater profits. So as soon as I got fired, I went and started a rival company and implemented my ideas. It worked. We're netting over $10 million a year.
What? $10 million? And you started the company? So you're the president?
Try CEO. Who would have thunk it, huh? 3 years from being fired, I'm making $1 million deals in Europe and Asia.
That's amazing, Blake. I knew you could do it. I knew you had it in you to make something of yourself. I was wrong. I don't want just Penny back. I want you back, Blake. We can be together again. A family.
Wait, are you serious? You think I'm just going to take you back? I'll just come save you from the mess you created?
Yes! Be my hero. Come save me, Blake. I'll be a good wife and mother. You'll see.
I don't think so. Besides, Penny already has a new mother. There's no place for you here.
What? What do you mean?
You remember Dove from the office? She was there through it all with me. After you left, things were really hard for me. I didn't know up from down when it came to baby food. I needed help. A lot. Dove was there for me. I couldn't have gotten through it without her.
Dove? Dove? Fluffy Dovey? You're with Fluffy Dovey. Blake! Come on. You can't be serious. How can you look at that bulldog face every day? Ugh.
She's beautiful on the inside and out. I'm not surprised you can't see that, though. You're never going to feel the joy and love and beauty in this world like I do, I guess.
If you say so. Anyway, can I just see Penny again? It's been so long. 3 years old. I wonder what she looks like.
You said no regrets, Melanie. You gave Penny up. You chose to do what you did, and now you have to live with it. I have no intention of letting you back into my or Penny's life. Please stay away and do not contact us under any circumstances.
Blake, please listen.
Goodbye, Melanie. Have a good life. Aside from her involvement with the VP and the investigation into his embezzlement, Melanie had been scamming a number of other men. The VP's wife shamed Melanie publicly and destroyed her reputation. Her many debts also started piling up, and with no one to cover her costs, Melanie was forced to work 2 jobs to pay back her collectors. Dove has been the most efficient secretary, the greatest partner, and a true mother to Penny. I am so lucky she came into my life. At home and at work, my wife is supportive and thoughtful, and believes in me. We're a family now. Dove, Penny, and me. And I'm going to keep working to expand my company. They say behind every great man there is a great woman. I believe this to be true. My life is proof. She gives me strength and happiness, and I hope I can do the same for her for the rest of her life.
Excuse me, Charisse. My shirts were folded wrong again. How many times have I explained how to fold them now? Sorry, Elizabeth. I'll be more careful next time. You've been living here for more than a month now. Don't you think it's about time for you to start figuring out how to do the housework without my supervision? I guess so. I can't seem to keep everything straight. Sorry. Don't just apologize. Show me that you've actually learned something by doing better. You're right. Also, it seems that you've been neglecting some things. What's this about you making Matthew do dishes and clean the bathroom? Matthew is my oldest son. He's the pride of this family. Why would you make him do housework? We always used to split all the housework. You mean this has been going on since before you moved in? Well, Matt is better at a lot of it than I am. Do you think that matters in even the slightest? Just so we're clear, I'd prefer it if you put a stop to that from now on. You know we both work. I don't think Matt shares your ideas about gender roles. That's not what I'm saying to you. I swear there's just no point in talking to you sometimes. I'm sorry you feel that way. You know, if you can't find time to do the housework, maybe you ought to quit your job. Why? Isn't that what you said? You both have work, so that's why you think it's okay to make your husband do your housework. Besides, Riley is only in the 1st grade. Isn't it sad having to put her in daycare? Well, I'd like to save up some money for the future. I like to think of it like I'm working so that we can support Riley, no matter what she decides to do in the future. So I have no plans to quit working. Plus, I like my job. A woman's place is in the home, not at the office. I know that time at home is important, and I'm trying my best not to get in your way. We're not talking about you being a bother right now. Maybe that excuse would have worked for you before, but now we live together. I have allowed you into my family home. Do you understand that? Yes. You think you could do whatever you want just because my husband died? No, of course not. Oh, if he could just see the state of this house right now, he would be spinning in his grave. When in Rome, do as the Romans do. Do you know what that means? In this house, the woman's job is to support her husband. You are severely lacking in that department. I'm sorry you feel that way. I'm afraid the day I consider you part of the family is still a long way off. If you want to join this family, I suggest you quit your job and focus your efforts on your housework. Of course, I'm sure all of this is just going in one ear and right out the other. I'm really sorry that you find me so disagreeable, Elizabeth. I'm afraid I don't have a job I can just walk away from suddenly. But I'll keep what you said in mind. I guess that's the best I can expect from you. It's my guide, as the matriarch, to instruct you. If only you two had moved in as soon as you were married, and I could have trained you from the start. I guess I only have myself to blame for you being so out of control. I promise I'll do what I can to make you happy. Please see that you do. The road to my heart will be in keeping the trouble from you to an absolute minimum. Sorry to bother you while you're out, Elizabeth. It looks like Riley found your cookie jar. It is yours, right? That's right. Let me guess, she wants some cookies? It would seem so. Do you mind if I give her one? I can pay you back for them later. Of course. Give her a cookie, please. Thanks, Elizabeth. Oh, but only Riley. You can't have any. You're not a member of the family yet in my eyes. Yeah, no problem. I won't eat any of your cookies. Really? I don't want to find out you've been sneaking any. Don't worry, I'm on a diet anyway. Ugh, you're one of those people that gets fat easily, aren't you? You poor thing. Our family is able to maintain a slim figure without too much trouble. Yeah, I know. Riley stays pretty slim no matter what as well. I'm glad she doesn't take after me in that respect. Don't get ahead of yourself. She's still just a child. We have no idea how she'll turn out. She's got your chubby genes in her as well, after all. I guess she does? Anyway, have you thought about what we talked about? What's that? Are you going to give up that silly job and focus on your real work? At home? Oh, that. Matt said it's fine if I keep working. Oh, please. You're already past 30. In just a few more years, it'll get difficult for you to have another child. That's true. Why are you talking like that doesn't affect you? Are you saying you aren't going to have any more children? No, I haven't really thought much about it. But we already have Riley. And what about an heir? An heir? That sounds very archaic. Who is going to continue the family line? Oh, don't tell me you're thinking of letting it end with Matthew. You know, even if I did get pregnant, there's no guarantee we would have a boy. And that's why you need to have another child as soon as possible. Once Riley is married off, the family name is gone. I guess so? But what about Melissa? She has a son. Melissa married into another family. She took her husband's last name, so her son can't possibly take over the family. Is that how it works? Oh, you really haven't given this any thought at all. And yet, you still have the nerve to enter my house? It's a wife's job to provide an heir. Honestly, what have you been doing this whole time? Sorry, I haven't given any thought to that kind of thing. I see. Well, I think that is going to just about exhaust Matthew's affections. I beg your pardon? You You heard this morning's conversation, didn't you? I said that I want today's dinner to be family only. Matthew was very receptive. He said that it had been a while, did he not? Oh, you seemed a bit flustered at the time. I take it you understood the implication? Well, I'm afraid it's really impossible to consider someone like you with no proper family values as part of my family. I know that Matthew thinks so as well inside his heart of hearts. Unfortunately for you, I'd say that your time as a married couple may be coming to an end soon. I have to admit, I'd much prefer a new, younger bride around the house. Do you really have to say it like that? I'd really like to get along with you, Elizabeth. Considering that you're likely going to find yourself divorced soon, why don't you consider today practice for the future and just eat by your lonesome? The rest of us will enjoy our time together as a family. Matthew, bad news. I know I made it very clear that I was only inviting Melissa and her son to dinner, but it seems she's bringing that husband of hers along as well anyway. Here I thought we were finally going to be able to eat together as a family. What a waste.
That's perfectly fine. You should be thankful that he's coming.
No, it isn't fine. After I went through all the trouble of getting rid of Charisse tonight, too. Wasted. Please come a little early, won't you? What are you doing now?
Oh, I'm not going.
What do you mean? I said we're going to have a family dinner. Why aren't you coming?
Huh? Oh, I'm gonna eat with Charisse, of course.
Excuse me. Why would you eat with Charisse? What about our plans?
Yeah, actually, I wanted Riley to join us too, but she's having a sleepover at a friend's house. So Charisse and I get to have a date night for once.
But why? You promised that tonight would be a family-only dinner. So why are you eating dinner with Charisse?
Because we're family?
Aren't I your family?
I thought so, but I don't know if I can consider you as part of the family if you won't treat my wife as part of the family.
I don't seem to follow.
I told you when we moved in, didn't I? Charisse and I are a team and share our responsibilities. So I asked you not to try and push all the housework on her. And we never planned on living here. But you messaged me, saying how lonely you were here all by yourself. And it was Charisse who worried about you the most and decided that we should come stay with you. I told you all this from the beginning, specifically, so you couldn't claim that you didn't know.
Well, it's just, I didn't want her to forget her wifely duties, just because she was here living in our home. I was just teaching her the things she needs to know as a wife, is all.
Okay, Mom, I think we're out. I never actually even agreed to this in the first place.
What do you mean you're out? Are you saying you're going to abandon me here?
You've been pushing all the housework on Charisse. You've been telling her to quit her job and give us an heir? Who wants to live with someone like that?
She told you that, did she? Ugh, I can't stand people who badmouth others behind their backs.
I wouldn't call it that, considering it's all completely true. And besides, I didn't hear it from Charisse. I heard it from Riley.
What?
She said that you're always bullying Charisse. I can't believe you would do that in front of your granddaughter. Aren't you embarrassed at all?
Well, there it is. That child is definitely her mother's daughter. She's raised quite an impudent little brat.
Hey now, that's my child as well that you're talking about. How can you say something like that?
I never liked Charisse from the beginning. A very plain girl. And she pushes her housework off on the men? I don't think she even realizes she's someone's wife.
This isn't the 50s. Charisse is the most important person in my life.
Maybe if she had at least given you a son. Maybe then I would be able to look at her in a little better light. But here we are. She's totally useless for you, dear. You really have to get rid of her. The best sort of girl for you is the one who wants to stay home and take care of the house.
Who's the useless one? Even though you're still perfectly capable, you don't do anything around the house. We pay all the bills. The only thing you actually do around the house is just bully my wife, it seems.
How dare you say such a thing? After I've sucked up all my pride just to live with that woman.
Nobody asked to live with you. And all this talk about an heir. Since when is our family so special? Grandma herself said our ancestors were just a bunch of loudmouth nobodies from the English countryside. And Dad bought this house. It isn't like it's been in the family for generations or anything.
Are you suggesting that you'd be fine if we lost this house?
It is nice having a place that's been here my whole life, but it's getting old, and the upkeep is becoming a bit of a headache. I don't think it's something we need to hang on to forever, as it becomes more and more of a burden.
You've really changed. Ever since you married that woman, you've changed. She's had a really bad influence on you.
I'm not a child anymore. I'm a father and a husband, so I can't live with you anymore.
I'll pretend that you didn't say that. I can't believe how much of an effect that woman has had on you. It's pathetic.
Excuse me?
You need to think long and hard about who is more important to you, that woman or your own mother. I'll say this clearly. Whoever you choose, you need to be ready to get rid of the other. Are you going to cut off all ties with your mother to live with that woman? Think on it. Oh, and of course, you can kiss your inheritance goodbye if you don't choose me. Hey, Charisse. Matthew has the day off today, right? Do you two have any plans? Matt took Riley to the park. Did he forget his phone at the house? He hasn't responded to my messages. Elizabeth, didn't you two decide not to have any more contact? That is why we moved out after all. Would you mind not messaging like this anymore? He said something to that effect, but I'm an old woman living alone. It's difficult for me if I don't have anyone that I can rely on. Who was it that told him that he needed to choose between the two of us? That was me. Well, he did just as you told him. Well, I never thought he would actually cut off ties. How was I supposed to know things would turn out like this? You thought he would leave me? Well, I am his mother. I carried him in my body for 9 months and suffered to bring him into this world. Who would think a son would betray his own mother like that? You brought him to this, stamping all over his emotions. Everything I did for his sake. I couldn't stand seeing him being forced into doing housework despite working all day. And what about me? You know that I work too. You're choosing to work, so it's fine. Is that right? I see. You see, I hope by that you mean that you're going to get divorced. Of course not. I can't imagine there's anyone in the world who would do that for you. Then what is it that you see? I see that there's just no way to reason with you, no matter how many times we talk. I thought that living together would give us a chance to get close and build a relationship. I always knew that you didn't approve of me. Then why didn't you just do what I told you? Sure, I could have quit my job and dedicated my life to making my husband and children comfortable. In some ways, that's a very noble life. But Matt and I have different ideas of what a happy life is. And neither me or Riley, or Matt either for that matter, were able to live happily while we were with you. That's why we left. You're really not planning to come back? Not even just Matt and Riley? Will you open your eyes already? How dare you talk to me like this, Charisse?
It's Matt. I just got home. We already agreed that I won't get any inheritance. We're not family anymore, so stop bothering my wife.
Matthew, I was only ever thinking about your happiness.
And like I said, it wasn't necessary. Now you said it yourself. I need to get rid of whoever I didn't choose. Well, I chose Charisse. I didn't choose you.
How are you able to do something as cruel as toss away your own mother?
Maybe because of all the cruel things that you did to my wife? Just hearing about your behavior was mortifying and just sad. And then you still had the nerve to tell me to my face to divorce her and remarry? I have to say I was pretty taken aback. But anyway, for the millionth time, you don't have to worry about me anymore.
What about after I get old? Who's going to look after me?
I think you need to figure that out yourself. If you're going to cut us out of the will, you should probably not rely on us for that. Also, I'm going to block your number as well. Charisse too, of course.
Matthew, please, listen to me. Matt gave me the phone back, Elizabeth. So like he said, please don't message us anymore. Okay, I get it. Fine. You too, Charisse. It's okay if you come back here as well. So please talk some sense into Matthew. Tell him that we can all live together again, just like before. You want me to talk to him? Well, who else is there? Me? Who you've been so cold to this entire time?
Me, who you said doesn't count as family? Me, who did all of the housework except when Matt helped me. You know, there was not a single moment where I thought I was glad that we decided to go live with you. So why should I try and convince Matt that we should go back there? Well, didn't you say that you want to get along with me? If that's the case, I think you could do this little thing for me at least. That was while we were still living together. But you don't consider me part of the family. I got that loud and clear, so now I give up. I'm just going to live happily with my own family from now on. Okay, I'll help around the house too. That gives you some reason to live here, right? I think that living with somebody that you don't like is bad for your mental health. I think we both ought to be careful about our mental health. It's no worry for me. In fact, I want to live with you. I'm also worried that living with you again might have some bad effects on Riley. And I can't say that I really want to live with you anymore. No, we're not going to move back in. Please give up on that idea. Charisse, I've been really lonely since everyone left, so please. I think it's best that you get used to living alone while you're still feeling spry. Because you're going to be alone from here on out. Why don't you consider this practice for the future before no one will see you anymore? After that, Elizabeth tried to get Matt's sister Melissa to live with her as well. But Melissa had heard from Matt about what Elizabeth had done, as well as Elizabeth not considering Melissa's husband as part of the family either. And so, soon, no one would go visit her anymore. While we were living there, Elizabeth was bragging to all her neighbors who lived by themselves about how her son was there to look after her in her old age. She lorded over all her friends about how she was the happiest person alive, basking in the love of her daughter-in-law and granddaughter alike, until no one wanted to spend time with her anymore. Now I think she's just living all by her lonesome. We didn't move too far away so that Riley wouldn't have to change schools. And we've been living happily, just like before we moved in with Elizabeth. I would have preferred to move even further away from her. But we thought it would just be too sad for Riley to have to give up all the friends she'd made at school just because of her grandmother. Matt and I worked together in dropping Riley off at school and picking her up so that she would never bump into Elizabeth. We still can't let our guard down, but we're still happier now than we were before. There are many different ways for people to find happiness. So I won't say that Elizabeth's way was wrong, but I will say that trying to push her way of thinking onto others was a mistake. From now on, I'm going to trust in my husband, and the two of us are going to work together to raise our daughter. And together, we're all going to work together to build our version of a happy family. Thank you for watching. If you liked this video, please press the like button. See you next time!